Hello, my name is John Sanders and welcome to my blog. Today we're going to unwrap the mystery surrounding salary negotiation. The three most common questions that we're going to answer today are: 1. Should you negotiate your salary and why? 2. What number should you use to negotiate your salary with and how we're going to determine what those numbers are? And 3. At what point do you stop negotiating your salary and accept the offer? So number 1, should you negotiate your salary? Absolutely yes, you should negotiate your salary, especially if you're extended a verbal offer. A verbal offer basically means is that we're going to give you a temporary offer until you give us another offer. And based on what you give us, we're going to determine what's the best of the two, or what's the happiest middle road. So taking that into consideration, it's almost foolish not to negotiate your salary, especially if you're given a verbal offer. So keep that in mind. Anytime you're given a verbal offer, negotiate your salary. Now, if you're given a written offer, you have to take the written offer on its merits. If it's only a 2 to 3% or 4% increase, you absolutely have to negotiate that. I mean, you can stay at your job and get yourself a 2 to 3% increase and, not take on any additional responsibility. So if you're taking on a new job, with, new responsibilities, additional responsibilities, then you're at least looking for a 10% minimum. That's the bottom line of an increase that you're looking for. Now, the main reason why people don't negotiate your salaries is because 1, either they don't know how to negotiate, or 2, they don't know what numbers to negotiate with. So what ends up happening is that they negotiate too softly and they get shot down, or they just don't negotiate at all. So how do you determine what numbers to negotiate with? That's the answer to number 2. Basically what you're going to do, you're going to negotiate a range. You never want to just give one number and stick to that number and be very adamant and say, I want that number. No, you want a range. And in the middle of that range is the number that you want. So for example, if your current salary is $100,000 and you really want $115,000, the salary range that you're going to give is $110,000 to $120,000. With the expectation that an offer should come somewhere between $113,000 and $117,000. So keep that in mind. So again, if your salary is $100,000 and you're looking for $115,000, you're going to give a range of $110,000 to $120,000. So based on that, what's going to happen is that you're going to go through all of your interviews, and when they're putting an offer together, they're going to look at your lowest number and say, okay, you know what? His make it or break it number is $110,000. We might be able to give him an offer of $112,000, $113,000. And that way it's not on the high end, but at the same time, it's not the very bottom level of the offer. So when they extend it to you, they'll call you and say, congratulations, we've been identified as the final candidate. We'd like to extend an offer to you. And here it is. So they tell you it's $113,000, 3 weeks vacation, all the benefits, etc., etc. You tell them, I think that's a fantastic offer, but I definitely do need some time to think it over, compare it with my notes in regards to the responsibilities, and I'm going to get back to you in about 24 hours. Is that okay? Most of the time, they're going to be okay with that. No one extends a verbal offer to you expecting you to take it right away. So take your time. Now think about it. You wanted $115,000. You're getting $113,000. Is that okay with you? Is there $2,000 worth the additional time that's going to take to solidify the offer? It's up to you. If you're taking on a lot more responsibility, you can negotiate a little bit more. At the end of the day, you're getting a $13,000 increase, which is pretty good. That's 13% off your $100,000. In this day and age, that's a pretty good increase on your salary. Now, because you gave a range of 110 to 120, what has happened is that they've come close to the middle of your range, which is the 115 that you wanted to do. Now, sometimes if they give you an offer and it's right at 110, you definitely want to negotiate. So you tell them, hey, look, I learned a lot about this opportunity through these interview processes, and there's additional responsibilities I'm going to take on. You might be driving further to work. You might be working a little bit more. Whatever the case is, $110,000 are not going to cut it. So you very kindly reply. You can reply via email, or you can reply verbally and say, you know what? I'd like $115,000, and here's the reasons why. Always give supporting reasons why, and always quantify the value that you're going to deliver for that extra, X thousands of dollars that you're looking for, whether it's $5,000 more, $3,000 more, $10,000 more, whatever it is. When you can quantify the value of the additional money that you're looking for, most of the time you're going to get the offer. So keep that in mind. Remember, you're not negotiating a number, you're negotiating a range. And in the middle of the range should be the number that you're looking for. Now, at what point should you stop negotiating an offer, a salary, and accept the offer? Well, like I said earlier, if you're getting a, let's say 10 to 15% increase on your salary, that's pretty good. Sometimes if you've already achieved that, anywhere between 10 to 15% is very good. Anyone that I've ever negotiated a salary for, I've averaged a 12.5% increase for my candidates. Everyone's been pretty happy with that. I think it's good. 12.5% is fantastic. If you stick around at your job, you'll get a 3%, 4% annual increase. If you change jobs, 12% is not bad. Now, another reason to stop negotiating is if you're automatically told, you know what, this is the only offer that we're going to give you, you pretty much got to take it or leave it. When you're given certain stern language like that, there probably isn't really a whole lot of room to negotiate. It doesn't hurt to push back a little bit, but at the same time, take that into consideration. Also take timing into consideration. How long do you have to wait? Because what will happen is when you renegotiate an offer, it has to get VP approval, it has to get HR director approval. Oftentimes that takes time. So you need to evaluate all of these things when you're negotiating your salary. So let's recap. 1, should you negotiate your salary? Absolutely, yes, you should negotiate your salary because it's expected of you. 2, what number should you use to negotiate with? You want to use a range. You want to use a range where the middle number of that range is the salary that you're looking for. At what point should you stop negotiating? Once you achieved a 10 to 15% salary increase, that's pretty much when you should say, you know what, I'm going to call it a day. Fantastic offer. Where can I sign? Now as a bonus, how do you determine what your current market value is? There's a couple of resources online that you can use. One of the resources is salary.com. You can do a free salary survey. Go to salary.com, punch in your information based on your industry, your location, all of that, and it'll tell you exactly what you're currently worth, what are some of the other people in your industry getting paid, across the country, what are people getting paid. That should give you a good reference point on whether you're overpaid or underpaid. You can also go to cnn.money.com and look for their salary calculator. Typically what I do is go to google.com and look up CNN Money Salary Calculator. That is also a pretty good tool to tell you what your current salary should be based on consensus of what other people are making. Between the two of those, you should get a pretty accurate number of what you're currently worth. So that should give you a starting point of saying, hey, you know what? In your head, you think to yourself, I looked on salary.com, I looked on cnnmoney.com, and I found out that the going rate for my current profession, with my experience and my current city, is about $115,000. I'm making $110,000. So what that does, that establishes your range of $110,000 to $120,000. I hope this has been helpful. I appreciate your time. If you have any questions, you can just give me a buzz. I'll be more than happy to help you. And until next time, make it happen.